finish this up. Hold on. All right. Let me come back with a chat. All right. What up, Deja? Hey, don't say things like that. I don't get that often. I start to blush. Now, what's happening? All right, yeah. So I got cut off. You know what I mean? Yo, Sprint sucks. I say it until I'm blue in the face. Sprint sucks. Definitely going back to T-Mobile. T-Mobile bought Sprint anyway in the acquisition. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, so yeah, it's just a quick question and answer session, man. You know, we really had a nice vibe going. I hope I can pick that right back up where we left off at a couple minutes ago and whatnot. So if you in there, you got a question, you know what I'm saying? Shoot it to me. Try my best to answer that for you. If it's astro, law of attraction, I done diversified a little bit. Your boy done got a little bit of real estate game up under my belt here. And I just want to, you know, today I just want to share and give back. So if you got a question, man, feel free, type it in the chat. And we can see if we can get the party started. So that's where I left off at. So someone had asked, like, why are relationships so hellish, right? And you know, I was starting to answer the question with relationships are hellish because it's a lack of agreement somewhere, obviously, because the hellish part is this disagreement. And it's a lot of levels to this thing. And one is I got a measuring system where you're able to determine the friction in the relationship, right? Cosmically speaking, you know, with the challenges of B and, you know, if y'all come together. And this is the great thing because now we can use this as a tool before we even get involved with people, right? So where I left off at, I was like, yo, picture if Venus represents the planet of relationships, right? Then wherever its placement is, if someone else's Venus is on the other side of the solar system, like I got Venus in Aries. So if you got Venus in Libra, then our Venus there's a good chance they're in opposition to each other, right? And that's a no-no because, you know, my Venus is way over here. So the way that I see my, you know, the way that I see, you know, my perception of relationships is totally different to how that person see relationships. You know what I'm saying? It's a conflict. They're in direct opposition to each other. So the Venus placement, Venus to Venus, you know what I'm saying, is very, very important to understand. How far away is your Venus to my Venus? And most importantly, even your Venus to my sun, who I am, and even my Mercury, what I think. Because one thing that you would never see is Venus opposite sun. And let me explain that. Hold on, they just said something that got my attention. Cheating, money, sex, not knowing limitations, but you must be equally yoked. I'm an Aries. Oh shit, Deja, leave me alone. Stop talking about me. All right, so this is one phenomenon that you would never ever see in the solar system by observing. So right now in the United States, the sun is outside, right? And so since we're on the earth and the sun is in front of us at all times, next to the sun will be Mercury and Venus. So Mercury and Venus will never be past 2 signs from the location of the sun. Geometrically speaking, it will never be 60 degrees to the right of the sun and never exceeding 60 degrees to the left of the sun. This is very important to understand because this means that, let's just say hypothetically, that Venus and Mercury are rising before the sun come up. So in the eastern sky in the morning, you're going to see a bright star, the bright and morning star. You're going to see Venus, and you'll see Mercury, and then the sun to come up. And then you won't see them no more once the sun is up because it's too bright. And then they are set, and then the sun is set. Now, if these two planets are to the left of the sun, then the sun to come up, and then Mercury and Venus to come up. And then when the sun set, you will see these bright evening stars in the western sky. Okay? And then they'll go down. You would never ever see the sun, because remember, Mercury and Venus travels around the sun, and they're closer to the sun than us. So wherever the sun is, we can just go either to the left or to the right. Guaranteed, Mercury and Venus is always going to be somewhere in the vicinity close to the sun. So when the sun sets, you would never see Venus coming up in the eastern portion of the sky. It's an impossibility because it's always by the sun. So that means, since you would never ever see this phenomena of opposition, Venus and the sun, and this is absolutely one of my favorite measuring tools of relationships, especially when the feminine energy, no matter the physical gender, the feminine energy is flowing with the masculine energy, Venus and sun, this shit produces some great harmony. Facts, right? So if you're born, let's just say Deja was like, I'm an Aries, right? Like, see, I got Venus in Aries. So this is interesting because she says, hi, beautiful one. And Venus represents beauty. So it's a good chance that her sun is not too far from, I bet you it's not far away at all from 12 degrees Aries. I bet you it's somewhere close to that, right? And so my planet of beauty sits exactly in the same place of what represents who she is, which is an Aries. But see, that's a role reversal. And I'm not mad at that because it's her masculine energy that's bouncing off my feminine energy, right? But see, I know that. But see, I'm going to get into that dynamic in a minute. So hold on. So then what happens is, since you would never see Venus opposite the sun, then that means if Deja is Aries, then if she meets a Libra, then it's a good chance that Libra's Venus and whatnot is in opposition to her energy way over here. And since you would never physically observe that phenomena in the heavens, to attract somebody from the complete other side can only denote two things, and very often is really one thing. The one thing that it mostly is the friction of the conflict, the opposition. What it should represent is we live in this oblong circle, right, called a year. It's making this circular motion. What it should represent is I bring this half of the cosmos and you bring this half, and together we make a whole solid piece. That's what it should be. But it's a lot of friction that's involved with that, simply because our angles of perception, how we see things, how we think about things, how these thoughts trigger feelings called emotions, what we're passionate about. When these personal planets, Mercury, Moon, Sun, Venus, when they get Mars, when they're in completely opposite ends of the solar system, this oftentimes just simply means, yo, we just don't see reality the same way. So now we got a conflict. So there's a way where we can reconcile this, where we can measure it. Because I often tell people, like, hey, you got to understand that you are light. Light says, hey, I need a negative pole and a positive pole in order to exist. That's how light works. When you look at a battery, it needs these two charges. Well, since you got a heartbeat and a brain wave, and at the core you are light, then that means that negative energy has a magnetic pull. You want to know what a negative marker is? I just said, listen, watch this. You could be like, what up, Lance? You could be like Mars opposite Mars. I don't like that marker. I don't like that marker at all. That's like, yo, we here to get busy. We about to knuckle up. That's that energy. So that's negative. But you don't know that that's negative. All you know is because the person is new to you, you think you liking the person. And you can be. But you don't know that there is a negative ray of energy that is really producing this magnetism that's pulling you two together. And so we have to be able to denote, like a battery, how much negative energy is inside of a relationship and how much positive energy is in a relationship. Because one thing that I learned by making the observation is we can now isolate energy. This is very, very freaking important to understand. Remember, if you take all of the 12 signs, you can reduce them down to the 4 elements. Aries, fire, Leo, fire, Sagittarius, fire, right? Then Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air. Then we go to the earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, then finally the water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We can now quantify you down into elemental energies of 4. Then we can actually reduce this 4 into 3 because each sign falls in a particular point of the season. The beginning, they call it the cardinal signs. So now you're going to have what I call 1, 4, 7, and 10. Aries is first, starts the spring. Cancer starts the summer. Libra starts the fall equinox. And then Capricorn starts the winter solstice. Then you got the fixed signs in the middle. 2, 5, 8, and 11. So then you're going to have Taurus is in the middle of spring. Leo's in the middle of summer. Scorpio's in the middle of fall. And Aquarius comes in the middle of the winter. And then you're going to have the remaining 4, which is 3, 6, 9, and 12, which are at the end of the season. Gemini, Virgo, Sag, Pisces. So now we just took the 12 signs, reduced them to 4 elements, and then put them in their respective 3 modalities. Are they in the beginning, which means they're great starters? Are they in the middle, which means they're preserved, stubborn, and focused? Are they at the end of the season, which makes them adaptable and very versatile and can multitask? Okay? So now we just stripped them down to 3. But these 3 can now be reduced to 2. And it's just what we would call yin and yang, or male, female. And then these 2 are really a reflection of the 1, which is just light energy or consciousness itself. But consciousness like to manifest itself as God and devil, up, down, cold, hot. You see what I'm saying? So you can strip this energy down to gender. So if you got 2 and I got 2, then the maximum interactions, I keep telling you, is 4. And so your feminine energy is rocking with my feminine energy. Your male energy is rocking with my male energy. Your female energy is rocking with my male energy. And then your male energy is rocking with my male energy. Them are the only 4 possibilities that we have, man. This is why you got 4 blood types. This is why you got 4 chambers in your heart. This is why you got 4 lobes in your brain. This is why you got 4 directions. This is why when you start studying hemoglobin, you got these 4 chains inside of the blood that makes up the freaking blood. You see what I'm saying? So 4 becomes your Yod-He, Vav-He, known in Hebrew as the Tetragrammaton, known as the Supreme Being, that an affable name that you cannot pronounce. It's talking about father, wife, daughter, and son. No specific order, but you can't get past that. You can only reproduce that. How you going to get past that? You can't get past that. So 4 is the ultimate expression in blood types, in your heart, in your brain, in your blood with hemoglobin again. So that's cool with blood types, okay? And within your own family dynamic. Those are facts, man. So therefore, I am telling you there are only 4 type of relationships. There are only 4. Either it's a feminine relationship that needs to connect, and all of them can be positive or negative. So it's either a feminine relationship that needs to connect on a inner spiritual emotional level. This is like meditations. It's very soft and it's very nurturing. Um, I think DJ Envy, if you study DJ Envy and his wife, Gia, that's what it looks like. Like Envy is not the masculine macho type of energy. You know what I'm saying? Their relationship is very family orientated, very soft. Okay? Then you have masculine energy where it's like, yo, we need to be riding bikes, we need to be working out, and we need to have a goal because we on the go, 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 go. To me, to a degree, that's like Gucci Mane and Keisha Kayor. You see motion, you see activity. She on stage with them. You know what I'm saying? Like you see activity, right? And then you have the female energy with the male energy, which is cool because it's a balanced thing. And then there's that role reversal. And that role reversal is Remy Ma and Papoose. Like if you ever study Remy Ma and Papoose, you would see Remy is like, you know, husky and kind of a husky voice. You know what I'm saying? Like Remy is the type that, bitch, don't play with me. I'll bust your head. I'll shoot you. Papoose is like, oh, while you're in jail, I'll take care of the baby. And I'll just, so when you come home, you can just go straight to your career. And, you know, she overtalks him and he's like, you know, whatever the queen say goes. So he's very supportive, very loving, and very nurturing. It's a positive role reversal. It's not that the relationship is bad, not by far. But there's a dynamic of energy change. So it's no different than I just told you. Like right here in the chat, like somebody was like, Deja was like, hey, what's up, handsome? But then she says she's an Aries. But I got Venus in Aries. So again, that's going to naturally show attraction because Venus is attraction anyway. So it's her masculine principle is in the same spot where I got a female principle. That calls for attraction. However, that is a role reversal just between one of the things that I look at dealing with relationships. So what do a role reversal mean? Well, shit, if I'm dealing with Aries, Aries is a pioneer anyway. It's like, yo, I can't sit still. I got to get the party started. I got to start some shit. I got to do something, right? And so then my Venus placement says, oh, shit, man, I love fiery women that's on the move, on the go, that's creating. That's just a turn on, go. So then it makes me want to nurture that. So I'm not intimidated by it because I got the same placement by it. You see what I'm saying? So that could be, I'm just trying to show y'all, this is a way where you can start to learn how to identify what the dynamic of energy is. So as long as I can be supportive, and let's just say she is typical Aries, that's really, who's an Aries? Juju, Cameron's ex-girl, right? So Juju is an Aries. So Juju be like, bam, gone. Like you see her writing books, you see her hosting shows. Like she's a celeb without necessarily being a celebrity like that. You know what I'm saying? But she's highly successful in real estate, like all kind of stuff going on, right? But that's Aries energy, pioneer, right? And so the goal is we have to learn, again, when they say, man, know thyself. Like this is an ancient saying that comes from the Egyptian aspect, but also found its way up into Greece at the temple of Apollo. Like, I'm not lying, look it up. It's right there at the temple of Apollo. You know what I mean? Which is the sun god. You see what I'm saying? So why is that there, man, know thyself, at the place that's dedicated to the sun? What does that have to do with you knowing yourself? Because wherever the sun's position is from your vantage point, your viewpoint, i.e. your zodiac sign, this is going to start to give way and show us how you like to exude your energy out into the world. Because all 365 days can be measured into 4 seasons or 12 signs, yada, 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 which is all, like I just showed you, is all centralized into energy. And we can define what the energy is. Okay? Hope that makes sense. I went over your head. Rewind. All right. And so now I'm not messing with you. I was just using it as an example. All right. So any questions? So what happens if you don't have planets in some of the houses in the birth chart? Because I don't have any. Right. So it's an impossibility because there's not enough planets. And even if there was enough planets, there would have to be 12 planets. They all ain't gonna be just happen to be in evenly spaced out. That's not going to happen. So nothing happens. It doesn't mean anything. But what we learned was this. For example, I don't have anything in the 7th house when I was born. But my 7th house is what we call ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn is on my 7th house. I don't have no planets there in the 7th. But since Capricorn rules my 7th, then I need to go look for Saturn because Saturn rules Capricorn. So then I say, okay, my 7th house is what I'm looking for in partnerships. This is close friendships, marriage partners, right? Business relationships, okay? What am I looking for? I'm looking for Capricorn. Okay, what is Capricorn by itself? Well, Capricorn says, hey, I'm ruled by Saturn, so therefore I want you to be successful. I want you to be responsible and old in a sense, right? Meaning mature, okay? So I don't have nothing there, but I need to go find Saturn. Oh, Saturn is in my 2nd house. So as it pertains to my relationships, I locate it, it's ruled by Saturn. I go locate Saturn. Oh, Saturn's in my 2nd house. This is in the realm of finances. So my relationships, business, close friendships, marriages, it needs to have something dealing with finances. Saturn in the 2nd denotes you need to be responsible with money. You need to conserve money. You need to be successful with money. You need to have a great reputation with money. You need to have a great rapport because that's Saturn. Or the negative energy of Saturn is limitations, fear. You ain't got none. You feel like it's stress. It's hurting you. It just sucks. Because Saturn energy can suck when it's the side of you that is not working to overcome your devil. So when I did that show the other day, I'm like, remember, Saturn is the devil inside of you. You see what I'm saying? So if you do not have a planet in a house, you can't have one in there all the time anyway. You just need to understand the sign that rules that house, then the planet that rules that sign, and go find it. And then that starts to give you insight into how you want to deal in that specific area of space, right? So my Saturn is in the 2nd of not being particularly skilled in money management, right? So you got to boss up to that. I got that same placement. The moment that I bossed up on that, your life is going to change. I'm telling you this straight up. That has to be your number one priority. And I mean number one, over love, over everything. Your number one priority. Because, see, what we don't understand, when you look at the zodiacal order of this place, like this shit is numbered out. So this shit is about priorities. Money's number 2. The only thing that's before that is yourself. So you yourself got to have a sense of self. And the first thing you learn when you come outside of yourself is finance, money, possessions, things that you value. We get so caught up in the children. If you understand children, 5th house in Leo, children, 5th house Leo, the position to Taurus, which is money, that's called a square. So when I did that video, when I talked about, the square, that's Takashi and Chief Keef, Leo in Taurus. That energy clashes because your children spend your money. They are a liability. So when you get your taxes, the government's like, yo, who are your liabilities? Who are your expenses? Who's taking money out? It's not a bad thing. It's just the truth. It's just what it is. So the Leo frequency of love and romance and fun, because love, romance, and fun costs money. That shit costs money. Children cost money. These things are in opposition, or what we call a square. These things challenges your money. You see what I'm saying? So when we think we want to go there and your intention is there, it's a no-no. You're not going in the zodiacal order of the cosmic laws. So get your money right. Saturn in the 2nd absolutely demands that you get your money right. If not, you're going to be poor. You're going to be messed up in the game. And then you ain't gonna do nothing but transfer those particular ideologies over to the children anyway. And now they set with the poverty gene that's already embedded for many generations anyway. Saturn demands that you boss up, and when you boss up, you become very successful because Saturn's energy is success, and then it's materialization. So when I studied Birdman, Oprah, and Jay-Z, those are the three I studied when they was 28 to 30 years old, then you see that they was making some major contracts in their life, and their life was changing. Things was crystallizing. What was crystallizing? The ideas and the work that they had been working so hard for. It's starting to materialize. So it's your choice. Either we play the negative pole of the energy, because Saturn is fear, and we don't boss up financially when it's in the second house, or we boss totally up and we start getting some materialization going on, and you start to see it stack up. You see what I'm saying? So don't be afraid of it. Money management has to be your T. You have to know. That's why I started teaching classes called the Millionaire Math. How to look at a deal. You know what I'm saying? And how to determine how much money you're making, how to determine the percentage of the money that you made, return on investment. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the ROI on that? You know what I mean? Like figuring that stuff out. You put 1,000 in and you made 10,000. You know what I mean? Like what's the ROI on that? Turn it into a percent. And then people be like, well, that's 10%. Are you crazy? You only put 1,000 in and you got 10,000. How was that only 10%? You know what I mean? So really sharpening that part of our mind that deals with money. So when you see me offer those classes, like, you know, get in those, because these are great mental exercises, things that I learned through evaluating real estate that translates into any area of our life that deals with money. You just switching the product up. If it's still money at the end of the day, so I just show you through the real estate portion how to do the money math. How can we ever become millionaires in a sense if we don't even have the mental capacity to compute numbers that will make us a millionaire? It's just a question. It's not that everybody that's a millionaire knew math, but it would just help if you do know you want to be a millionaire. Then what's your millionaire math? I say it all the time. Is it 1,000 times 1,000? 2,000 times 500? 10,000 times 10? Like, like what is it? 10,000 times, like what is it? Like, what is it? 100,000 times 10? Like, what is it? What is your millionaire math if that's your desire? All right, so question. Any questions? Shoot them to me, man. I'm going to rock with y'all. I got to go to the post office, man. I think they close at 5. I'll give y'all like 4:15. So remember, tonight, 8:30, Prime Minister is up. Minister Jew is going to be doing with this Kanye West thing. Curious case of Kanye West. Showing y'all how. Hey, do me a favor, y'all. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. Because I heard when you hit thumbs up button, it alerts more people that people are on the way. You get more visibility. So just do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button if you can, if it allows you to do that. All right. But what you got? My Saturn in the first house. Oh man, Saturn in the first house, man. That's your problem, Plain Jane. That's your problem. You gotta totally boss up. You gotta totally boss up, and you gotta be serious. And you gotta go. Everybody gotta go through it. It's just a matter of where it is. Wherever it is, that's the area where you gotta own it. So Saturn in the first just says, hey, the first is my personality. I'm gonna go forward in life. You know what I mean? Saturn's like, oh, I'm going to be right here first. I want you to deal with me first. Okay, cool. I need to be a responsible person. And I absolutely need to set goals. And once I know that the goal is worthy, then I don't stop until I get it. Because Capricorn energy, Saturn's energy is don't stop and get it, get it. Climb the mountaintop, Billy Goat. One step at a time, Mr. Billy Goat. And you will literally get all the way to the little tip of the mountain, Mr. Billy Goat. That is the Capricorn symbol. One step at a time. Don't stop. Get it until you get it. Okay? So it's not hard. Just do it. As Dan Pena would say right here on YouTube, I'm not making it up, a little short, spicy fuck who has coached people into billions of dollars. Just fucking do it. That's what he would say. All right? Been thinking about joining the Imagination Guru to monthly subscription to see if it will help me. It'll help you if you're willing to help yourself, but you can't come in it optimistic. You know what I'm saying? You worry too much, plain Jane. I'm telling you, I can feel it, I sense it, I see it in the questions, I see it in the name. You worry too much. You gotta recalibrate, reformat everything to the upper echelon of your success and where you want to go. And you have to learn how to concentrate on those things. And it's just one step at a time. That's it. Focus on the first thing in front of you, because anytime I know people who look at the bigger picture and there's so much to do down the road, you get overwhelmed and it becomes intimidating, and then you don't ever do shit, and then you stuck with analysis paralysis. You just stuck at just analyzing shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it helps you, but you just got to be enthusiastic. Your participation, your enthusiasm is everything in this thing. You come in at second guessing and lackluster attitude, you get lackluster results. All right. So I've been studying successful people like Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world. Both his sun and moon is in Capricorn. Yep, he ain't going. Capricorn is very successful. North Node in the ninth house in Sag. Right. So those are the oxymoron houses, right? So the North Node in Sag. Hey, man, you're just here to learn, to grow, philosophy, travel the world. You know, that's the college professor energy. Be very versatile in subject matters that interest you. I think the low end is being stuck and dedicated to a religion, but philosophy allows you to see the truth within all of the religions. So if Jesus is Horus, then there's no reason why you should ever be mad and at the Christianity story, if you know that you can cross-reference this and this is a story that was told in Egypt. If you study the 16 world crucified saviors, and you see that they all have this immaculate conception story, and Christ is not the only immaculate story, but it's just the most popular immaculate story, then you can never be mad at it, because you're here to learn that the truth prevails in everything. So it's no different than, like, we was having this conversation earlier, me and Jew, is like, you know, people would be like, man, what you doing in Greece? You shouldn't be going over in Greece with them white folks. They in Greece. You know what I'm saying? And there's like, but yet these are the same people who you say Plato and Aristotle and all them boys, suppose Socrates and them allegedly came down into Egypt and they were taught by the Africans. And so I should only see a mirror of my ancestral wisdom inside of Greece if I go there. So you can get caught up on it all you want to, but you know, like I said, when you go to the Temple of Apollo in Greece, you're gonna see, you know, man know thyself. But you said that was in Egypt first, and cool, it was. But we taught them. So I'm gonna see myself there. So the node in the ninth house really denotes that you're supposed to be a professor of universal truths, not getting dogmatic and stuck in one area. That's the lower frequency of that. You see what I'm saying? All of it's the same. Whether it's Jesus with the 12 disciples, is the sun in the sky traveling through the 12 zodiac signs. That's the external story. But the internal story is the light, heartbeat, brainwave, the light of consciousness inside of your skull. Mr. Jesus born at Golgotha, the place of the skull, because inside your skull you got 12 cranial nerves. So those are your 12 disciples. That's just a mirror of what's taking place in here. So now I got the crown around my head and I become illumined, right? I'm illuminated. I'm Illuminati now. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm activated with the G-force within. So these are universal truths that are every single where in every single culture, period. That's the node in the ninth house. All right. So, and I do have a question in regards to the birthdays, if you're familiar with birthdays. It's not the birth. Well, see, the thing is constant growth. It's not the day by itself. It's what is all of the energy at on the day, right? So it's not just necessarily the day, you know, because oftentimes that's not the problem. It's not the day. It's these other things that are painting the picture that's going along with it. What was Saturn at? What was Mars at? So for lack of a better word, you know, example, if I may say, you know, hey man, you was born with, you know, Saturn and Pluto conjunct the moon, like, you know, you want to look out and watch, you know, watch out for, you know, an abusive parent type of thing. Then you see what I'm saying? It's not the day itself. August 22nd ain't got nothing to do with it. It's me looking at all of the energy as in totality that makes up the day you were born. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's a dope dream. All right, so can you speak of progressions? Just went from into Libra in the eighth house. All right, yeah. So progressions is dope. Secondary progressions, it just simply means, man, as you grow as a human being, as your soul evolves, your chart is slowly turning with you. So some planets will go up a little bit. So the sun on average will move 1 degree a year. The moon will move 13 degrees in a year from when you were born. So the progress chart is like this dope cosmic mirror that mirrors your physical growth. That's all it is. That's all it is. So if you're dealing with Jupiter, what was it? Jupiter and Libra in the eighth, man, Jupiter wants justice. Jupiter is the law. Jupiter is abundance, prosperity, relationships, prosperous relationships. Eighth house, who you share money with, who you sexing as well. Eighth house, inheritance, money coming to you. Jupiter in the eighth denotes if somebody dies, they could leave you a nice amount of money as well. The eighth house is joint partnerships with other people's money. So this is a perfect placement for you to be involved in growing money with people, especially the person who you're in a personal relationship with. If you're in a relationship where you can't divulge in the conversation of finances and even sharing, you're absolutely in the wrong relationship. Jupiter in the eighth wants to have big money together with someone. Jupiter in Libra wants you to be in a happy, prosperous relationship. And since Jupiter is many and abundance and Libra's relationships, then you possibly may be in a poly relationship, whether it's many men or many women. All right. Hey, leave them cats alone. All right. So that's Jupiter there. All right. So you could be, it's abundance, great relationships, but it could be multiple relationships too. And Jupiter has this element of freedom to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's ruled by Sag. It wants to, the rule Sag rather, you know, it wants to travel the world. And also your partner may be a foreign partner. I usually tell people if you got Jupiter in the seventh or the eighth, then that, I think everybody has this foreign exotic fantasy. Like there's this, you know, there's this nationality that looks good to you, right? Like when my dad, he got to go to Rio de Janeiro and it's Brazil. It's Brazilian women for him. That's his thing. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people in the States, it's, you know, they want to get down to the Dominican Republic and whatnot. So I think everybody had his fantasy, women too. Jupiter in the seventh and Jupiter in the eighth denotes that you can really go through with that and marry a foreign person. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just your cosmic art. You know, it's your cosmic makeup, man. You know? All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right. Do you have a book that you recommend to read in order to learn about? Yeah, the book that you should definitely read is Planets in Transit by Robert Hands. My favorite astrology book ever. It's actually there is a book called The Only Astrology Book You Ever Need. I don't believe that's the only astrology book you ever need. I believe Robert Hands' book, Planet in Transit, is the one you only need. Because although transit means when the planet is moving through this area of space. So for example, I was born with the sun in the ninth house. So I can just go look up sun transit the ninth house to get an understanding of what I was born with. So it don't have to be the sun outside in the sky right now transiting through there. It was transiting through that area of space when I was born. So it's the same thing. Planets in Transit by Robert Hand. Hands down, my fave. I'm on iTunes, all the digital media outlets. If you want to get into Planets in Harmony by the Inner Peace Lighthouse, I produced that. That's digital. You can download that. And also the Zodiac Made Easy is another one that's on your digital things. That's by your partner on Inner Peace Lighthouse on Amazon, iTunes, and all that stuff. So Planets in Harmony, the Zodiac Made Easy, and then the physical book by far. Because I love Rob's interpretations. Because I got my own interpretations, which is on point, and then he got his that's on point, and it just gives me that perfect balance. Planets in Transit by Robert Hand. That's a must. That's like my astrology Bible. All right. All right. So Jupiter in Cancer. What up, King Simon? So Jupiter in Cancer, right? Jupiter in King. I must say Jupiter in King Simon. Somebody else said it, right? Jupiter in Cancer, man. So Jupiter, that's a big family. Cancer is family. A lot of children, abundant children, because the fifth house is abundant. The fifth house is children. Jupiter in the fifth, man, you should be playing. Hey, man, 10% to the priesthood, bro. Go play the lottery. Stop playing around and get in on this Mega Million thing. Jupiter in the fifth, you were absolutely born with the lucky hand. So the fifth house is arts and entertainment, and this is why it's easy for you to have been a promoter, to be a promoter, because Jupiter represents your abundance factor in your chart. You can always do that as your cheat sheet, but it's really your abundance factor. You see what I'm saying? So see, you got 9 children. Like, who does that? Like, they did that like in my granny day. Who does that, right? So Jupiter in the fifth denotes an abundant amount of children, but these children can also become abundant as well and whatnot. So it's just a big family, man, with children when you have Jupiter going through that area of space. But it's also, again, casinos, luck. You were born with the lucky hand, man. So always do the scratch offs and you'll be hitting, you know? All right. Anybody else? Did you get married to your opposite sign? So I don't know if you're talking to me. Hell no. I didn't get married to my opposite sign. Absolutely not. But I will tell you a fabulous story about divine connections. I was able in this lifetime to meet the person who was born directly opposite me. Directly. And through my experience, if I know it to be the truth, your real twin flame will have some things in their life that mirrors yours. Fathers have the same name. And the first morning that we really was woken up to, a bell went off. Like this angelic bell went off. Ding! And it woke us up. It woke both of us up. And we looked. And it was like in the middle of the morning, it was like, and you just go back to sleep. But you wake up, and I remember she's like, what the fuck? And like, it was all in one motion. Like, you hear something, you wake up, and then you doze back off and shit. And it happened. And I said, damn, looking back, I was like, shit, I know what that is. No, I did not. I did not. That's why it's often said when you meet soulmates and twin flames and stuff, the energy can be too intense and you don't necessarily have to continue it. It's interesting because in the Hebrew teachings of Zohar, they talk about how a person can evolve into your soulmate. And I believe that to be very true. But I do recognize definitely you only have one cosmic twin though. And that's a fact. I'm not being biased or anything, because if you understand that you live in a solar system that has 365 days, but these days are in a circle. These days are not straight on the calendar or you flipping the calendar. That's not how it goes. If you just draw an oblong circle and then you put every single day on the circle, so then you would have, in this 360-degree circle, you would have 180 slots. Okay? 180 on this side, 180 on this side. So everybody has a pair. That's facts. This is math. Everybody has a pair. If you're able to meet the person that sits in your slot on the opposite side of the solar system, there's only one person that can do that shit, man. I'm not making it up. It's math. Can you vibrate to a point where you can meet someone you're interested in, have the same ideals, goals, whatever, and they be on the complete opposite side to the degree? It can be no more than 2 degrees off, because we live in an oblong circle. 365 days are supposed to fit within a 360-degree circle. So there's a little room of variance here, okay? And so today we may say it's October the 18th. The sun is at 25 degrees, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, Libra. Tomorrow at the same time, the sun is at 25 degrees, 59 minutes, right, Libra. And then at 5 o'clock Eastern time, PM, the sun will move to 26 degrees. So on the 18th, if I'm born within the window of time, I'm a 26-degree Libra. And then somewhere on the 19th, I'll still be a 26-degree Libra. So what's happening is we got to reconcile what looks to be like these 5 days, because we got 365 days. These 5 days to a degree, like they're some days share inside of these grids of 180 degrees, if that makes sense. All right. So you can give it a day or two, but you'll see this in the chart as I'm a 27-degree Aquarian. So if I meet 27 Leo, 28 Leo, you know what I mean? 26 Leo even, it's like direct opposite. You see what I'm saying? Or you can do the regular way. It's a fun way of practicing. Just find the day that's completely 180 days away from you on the calendar. What day is exactly 180 days away from you? And then you'll see what's up. All right. Yeah, you got it. What up, Ricky Skizzios? All right, so play those numbers. If you see those numbers, play those numbers. That's the best way you can do it. The number is just you playing defense when you always looking at the number. You know what I'm saying? But you want to play the number. So you see, you live in a world of masculine and feminine energy. Receive is feminine. Oh, I see 1111. Oh, I see it. Okay, that's fine. Don't be stingy. Project it back out. Program it. So you gotta write a book about it. Like there's people that wrote books on this thing, 1111. Or I say play the lottery on it. Meditate for 11 minutes and 11 seconds, or a variation thereof. You know what I'm saying? Start activating the number. Push back. Because this is the place where, you know, the tide ebbs in and it comes. It flows and it does its thing. It's this back and forth, yin-yang thing. So stop receiving the number and being selfish with it. Project it back out by playing the number and doing practical things that you like a number of times at the time. So if it's 11 o'clock, 11:11, well, let's meditate for 1 minute and 11 seconds. I'm still doing the variation of 111. Activate the number like a channel. Turn to channel 11 and turn to channel 12. You get 2 different things, right? So you got to program the channel, all right? So anybody else? Aquarius in the first. Oh, man, that's dope. Aquarius rising. Aquarius rising. Right. Do your thing. Do your thing with the number. Play with it. Activate it. You know, Aquarius rising, man. Hey, you just come off as an Aquarius. The rising sign is just what energy would do. It's just shell. We call it just shell. That's what people sense. Aquarius is, I think, different, man. Technology, the radical, Very, very different insight. Very, very different. You know, I got the Aquarian shirt on. King Simon, you got your Aquarian shirt? Oh, I gotta stand up for you. I got your Aquarian shirt. Hey man, get your Aquarius shirt, man. Get all your shirts. MyZodiacShirts.com. MyZodiacShirts.com. All right. You know, we got 31 people in here. Do me a favor, y'all. If you can't, hit the thumbs up button real fast so we can get some more people up in here. Thumbs up if you like the information. Hell, thumbs down if you don't. But thumbs up. Plain Jane got the moon in Aquarius. I got the moon in Aquarius too. Plain Jane. What degree? What degree? What degree is your moon? What degree is your moon, Plain Jane? 1? Oh, you baby Aquarius. You just got on in there, right? Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you got the shirts, man. Appreciate it. Moon in Aquarius, you know, you think different emotions. You may not be as emotional. You may totally do something. Man, yeah, man, the Priesthood album, man. I'm definitely dropping the album on Black History. You know what I'm saying? The mixtape. You know what I mean? Because I'm using popular people's beats, so no monetary gain. You know, the Union Soldier definitely coming through. And then next up from the Union Soldier is going to be the Ohio Player. You know what I mean? Which is totally different dialogue. But the Union Soldier got to get some shit off his chest. You know what I'm saying? And set the record straight on this black and white Kanye West type of thing. Like my brother tonight is going in on Kanye West. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, you want to get over to theimaginationguru.com. Go on the shop tab webinars tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Minister Jew, my comrade, my broham, is going in on the curious case of Kanye West, a webinar, and going to show you some phenomenal shit that is so deep that I'm literally convinced that the Greek people who wrote their mythology projected Kanye West into this reality. In fact, that nigga probably was Aristotle back then or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a phenomenal display of cosmic storytelling. It's the best I can say. Hey, that's the name of an album, Cosmic Storytelling. All right, so my moon as well. You the moon in Aquarius too? Hey, man, you're a low-key Aquarian, man. So if my birthday, what you say, Barb? If my birthday is October 13th, 78, when is my money new year? You have to know your time. You gotta go, man. Take advantage of that thing. It's only $97. You gotta know your time of birth to know that. And then I still gotta go look at when is the alignment coming once a year right there inside of your financial house. And it don't happen the same time every year. This is why, see, listen, when you're dealing with Easter, the Chinese New Year, the Islamic New Year, and the Jewish New Year, they're not the same day every year. It's not July 4th. January 1st, like if it's one day every single year, that is a Earth-Sun relationship. That never changes. When it keeps changing, the moon is involved. This is why the cultures that I just named in Easter, those things are predicated upon moon alignments. And the moon don't care about January the 4th every year. Just because it's a full moon this year and January the 4th is not going to be January the 4th next year. In fact, it's going to be about 19 years until the moon to be the same exact phase on the exact same day again. This is why in the Holy Quran, it talks about over it is the number 19. And if you read further down the surah, it talks about, and I swear by the moon, is what the Quran says. I'm going to have to come out with the cosmic surahs on y'all, man. So it's talking about the intelligence, because the moon is on what we know as an 18 or 18.6, or some say a 19-year Metonic cycle that, again, to catch its exact day to its exact phase is 19 years. Okay. This is why Mother Tynetta wrote unveiling the number 19, which I am to add my piece to it soon. Rest in peace. All right. Come on, man. What y'all got? What else y'all got? Priesthood NY 2019. That may very, very well be in the deck this year, bro. For real, for real. Seriously. For real, for real. It's been a long time coming. Change gonna come. It's gonna be Armageddon, King Simon. I've been trying to avoid Armageddon for a very long time, brother. That's why I try to mind my business here. Because I can't neglect certain truths. And so, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings because I'm sensitive. And so therefore I choose to stay in my lane. So yeah, what y'all got? What y'all got, man? Shoot it to me. Shoot it to me. What you got? Got a question? Feel free. Now is the time. Capricorn in the first with Jupiter. Jupiter. Big success. Big success. You know what I mean? I mean, you just gotta, the first house, I just never get past action. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So if Jupiter is there, this is a big personality. Be careful though. You could easily get overweight. You know what I mean, with Jupiter in the first as well, especially if it's related to Cancer, because Cancer is food, man. But overall, man, you're an abundant person. You know what I mean? So make it happen, man. Go get it. You know what I mean? Mars in the fifth in Capricorn. So Abraham Hicks, yay and nay, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I never heard them talk like Abraham Esther. They don't necessarily talk about. I haven't heard from the mathematical cosmic standpoint, but if we just dealing with, you know, thought and vibration, then sure. You know what I'm saying? Everything is energy, so all energy vibrates is what we're taught. You know what I mean? So I can see the similarity in that. You know what I mean? But the subject matter per se, nah. Don't deal with this. Don't deal with the mundane little earthly science such as this. All right, so Mars in the fifth and Cap. Man, Mars in the fifth, athletic children. You can be athletic. This is, you know, you got to be careful with this one with the children marker because of the Martian energy denotes accidents and fights and shit. But making sure that you absolutely have if you do have children, making sure that they have a physical vehicle to express themselves, no matter what they into. You know what I mean? You want to make them sweat it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's sweat it out. All right. So, and then as it pertains to their success, you know, they can tell you what they want to be in life, what they're going to be, then you take an action to make sure that that's in play because that's your house of children. If no children, then Mars in the fifth also can denote you getting women pregnant. If you're a male, it's pregnancy. It's an excellent timer for me. I've predicted many babies doing with this energy right here. But Mars, well, and Capricorn is said to be exalted too, so its energy will do it. Very passionate, man, with love, romance. It's theatrical as well. It's plays, the drama. And it's just very successful. You know what I mean? So if you got any inclination in any arts, you know what I'm saying? Then I would do that. Oh, that's a very good question, Latanya. Oh, I'm gonna get to that. So it look like you want to manifest a lotto, man. You gonna share? If I share it with you, you promise to give 10% and not go AWOL. 10% of your take home. You promise? You absolutely have to promise. The correct perception on death. Wow, that's a great freaking question because I have this experience, right? So a lot of people know me where I shared that in 2007, in fact, it was their birthday yesterday. Um, that's funny that you asked that on this day. So yesterday, 11 years ago, I had the twins. Okay. And one of the twins didn't make it on this side. So they do an emergency C-section. I'm called in, of course, and I'm already expecting what you would call the worst case scenario, but I'm Anpu. I've already got the understanding of life and death, and I know who Anpu is, and I know he's the Lord of the underworld that is here to help souls make transition. I got a eighth house stellum. All right, I got you next, bro. Which is the energy of death. I was born with planets in the southern portion of the sky, heading towards the west, so southwest portion of the sky. And when you're born with planets there, it denotes the death energy. And so I hold the picture with the baby. I have it holding the baby. I told him to take a picture of it, and then it's this bright light that is by the head of the baby. And so that was my initiation to share with the world that I know that death is not what we would call real. In that sense, and the human soul is light. We're all light. Without the light, this is why, again, when you pass out, like the first thing you're gonna do is check your vitals, and if you ain't got no heartbeat to revive you, they about to juice you up with electricity. That's a fact. So you're light. And so the teaching is you have to share about the twin paradox, life, the twin that is here and the twin that's not here. And so later, when we take pictures of my daughter, her head would disappear out of a picture, or it would be two faces in the picture. She'd have two heads in the picture. And I'm like, yo, this is pretty freaking cool. And so I never, ever, ever, ever get sad, feel some type of way, because I held a dead daughter. But to see that, the twin that's here, for her head to disappear in pictures or have two heads in pictures, like what better divine sign than that to be able to physically show that this death thing is it just goes on. So having the experience of that coupled with leading a retreat in 2014 to New Orleans, where a group of people went off, because in New Orleans, their tourism is like graveyards. Like nobody does that. Who wants to go to a graveyard on a tour? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they do there. So, a group of my team went on a ghost tour, and Keisha, who's like super, super Pisces, super intuitive, she's telling, hey, Ruben, snap the picture, like now. And when they snapping, I'm talking about, I got pictures of what you would call ghosts, like chilling in pictures like this, and they ain't got no head, but you can see their arm just like this. You can see everything but their head. They standing in front, like it was walking on a ghost tour, and they was chilling like this in front of them. Like, what's up? I'm posing for the pictures. Swear to God. I got pictures of a ghost walking down Bourbon Street with the red plastic cups you get from Family Dollar. Like they drinking, got the purse on, like this fucking partying and shit. Got another picture of a ghost riding a bike with a white garbage bag inside of the basket on the handlebars with stonewashed blue jeans on. So all that shit that you can't take it with you, if that's true, that means there's the same shit that we got, it's on the other side too. And in New Orleans, what's happening is that's a vortex of energy for souls. The unique thing about New Orleans is that, A, it sits on the Mississippi River. So that's a vortex in of itself. But it also sits on the exact same parallel as Egypt, 29 degrees north of the equator. So if you leave New Orleans and you don't deviate 1 point and just travel on a straight line, you're going to run into the pyramids. Okay? So it's New Orleans is in a perfect alignment with the pyramids, the mystical Egypt, and serves as this great place where obviously partying and great energy is. It is of my belief, and it will only play out in the future place, that the souls in New Orleans will one day materialize again in their what we would call present form. I'm already seeing them riding bikes down the street. They're walking down the street partying. They just have to continue to exist and keep grabbing great positive energy where they'll be able to just zoom and be right back. Because right now, because the camera has no emotional filter and high resolution is able to pick up on that. And so these are facts. Like, it has ghosts been documented before? Hell yeah, absolutely. And I got personal documentation of it. And then the personal experience with my daughter. So the correct way to view death is to not grieve. It's not that you can't be sad, but all that, that's horrible, because one, it's not good for you. Two, if the person is around at the time of the transition and you're doing that and they scared themselves, they get trapped. My grandmother, at a very early age, it's my mother's grandmother, so my great grandmother, which I can only remember the elevator. That was really my first initiation, 4 or 5 years old. She's about to pass, and she makes a request to get me in the room. No children weren't even allowed, but she's been in there for a while. They made an exception for me to come in the room. I had my mom tell this story. I swear to you. And she asked me, do you see that light in the corner? And I look and I say, yes. And she pats my hand and she tells my mom, he's special. And she makes transitions. Swear to God. Now, I don't know this until later, when something gives me an idea to become Anpu, right? Like that's you inside of this thing. You got that understanding. That's you. And then I retro back to, Mom, tell me about, what happened. And well, then it all starts to click. You see what I'm saying? I never forget when I taught my first astrology class at the house in Philly. And when they left, I only had room for like 10 people, and 12 people showed up. So we made it happen. And when they left, I was so thankful. And I had this picture of Anpu on the wall. And I said, Grandma, if you are with me, make that picture fall down. And I swear to God, I swear to you, as soon as I said make that picture fall down, that picture came off that damn wall and fell down. Promise you. And so the correct view on death is about a love for energy. It's what the Easterns do. It's a celebration. It's not a time to be sad. It's time to have a feast. We all know we gonna die, but yet we cry and boo-hoo. We don't have to like the circumstances of how it happened. Sure, it's okay to miss a person, but what I'm saying is, don't get into that negative spell, that negative funk. How dare we be? You're gonna be depressed about it inevitable that you know is gonna happen. I'm telling you, ain't nothing. When you look at the dynamic of family, I'll just say it like this. Because it's only mother, son, daughter, father. Everything repeats itself. Grandmother, you're out. She got her own household. And the thing repeats itself. So in the dynamic of the family, The father gives the daughter away for marriage. Okay? That's the most precious relationship out of them all. Sorry. Sorry. I don't care. Tell me. It is. And we know it is. This is why the dad gives the daughter away. And it's called the daddy-daughter dance. It ain't the mommy-son dance at the wedding. It's the daddy-daughter dance. It's a reason for that. It's a reason for that. When you understand the tetragrammaton, the masculine force is what we would call, and this is not to belittle anything, everybody has this divine role. Daddy, mommy, son, these two are the bridge. And then daughter is the physical manifestation of the earth. The son ain't gonna do nothing but leave home any damn way. The daughter leaves, but she has to seek approval to leave, supposedly. And it shall happen this way, because I understand it. You don't just let your daughter go, right? So she has to seek special permission to leave. You see what I'm saying? So she can go off and become mommy and whatnot. And then she becomes the middle. So there's a particular process of what's taking place. But that's the correct way to view it. Good question, man. I like that question. All right. I mean, Arizona dope, of course, man, but I don't think they're going to materialize. Sedona and all that, it's a different vibe. Different vibe. Sedona is more like they will stay in the invisible world to help assist type of feel. New Orleans is like, nah, nigga, the ghosts show up and they like, yo, what up? I'm still drinking. I want to party still. You know what I'm saying? I'm not turning into a light orb. I'm here still. You know what I'm saying? So New Orleans is just different, man. You know what I mean? Second house Gemini, man. Second house Gemini, communication with the money. Talk about the money. Write about the money. Think about the money. You know what I mean? It's all things mental as it pertains to the finances. You know what I'm saying? So talk about money, man. Think about money. Read about money. Gemini is the teacher too. It wants to study. So, you know, beef up your intellect as it pertains to your finances, man. You should have a high financial IQ, man, which should translate to your bank account, bro. That's what that is. All right, so 10% no sweat on the lottery, man. So, man, y'all better, you know, can't give you all the jewels because we got something going on, man. But listen, man, see yourself as the winner. Pray the prayer of, you know, you deserve it, man. You know, like, you know, go for it and whatnot. And here's the game plan, man. See yourself as the winner. And you calling me, Anpu, guess what, nigga? I hit the lottery, nigga. You was right. So I'm gonna say thank you, thank you, thank you. We got it, man, nigga. We gonna have you send over 10% of the take home, man. So what did that look like? You know what I'm saying? When you take home 500 mil, yeah, man, just kick us 50. You know what I'm saying? Kick us 50. You still got 450 million. So here's the key, man. This is what you got to do. What are you going to do when you win the lottery? Have these conversations like ASAP right now. Know it like clockwork. What you going to do? Huh? What you going to do? Like, I know exactly. Like, it ain't no guessing. Pop! Got my top 5. And I ain't talking Biggie and Nas. Nigga, I'm talking about what's the top 5 things you going to do. All right? I already know who I'm going to donate money to with institution. Off rip, you know what I'm saying? Keep the good energy going. I know the state that I'm buying the house in, paid for, all cash. Don't never got to worry about that, right? And ain't overpaying the bank on a mortgage, right? So I'm going to do, I know what that is. I know exactly how I'm going to fund the business and which business I'm going to fund for myself, right? And then I know I'm setting up some trust like Fred Trump did with old Donnie Boy. Right? We're going to, Fred Trump set Donald and the kids up with $1 million trust. All right? Cut it out, phone, with the blurry stuff. With $1 million trust, and then gave the grandbabies $1 million trust too. You know what I'm saying? And then I know some other things that I'm going to do. Right? Like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to be, you know, acclimated, like for real. Have these conversations, man. If you, especially if you sleeping with somebody in the bed, man, y'all got to be able to be like, babe, like we want to like what you gonna do, and then y'all got to rehearse that shit. Like clockwork. This is what I do. You got to play a game out of this thing. It has to become fun. It has to become very enthusiastic. And then y'all raise, because what that positive emotion is doing is raising energy, which in return is raising your energy field around you, which in return says, hey, well, thank you, myzodiacshirts.com. Zodiac, our brand of shirts and whatnot. So myzodiacshirts.com, get you one. We got the hoodies in and everything. So, you know, your energy field is changing around you. And so therefore that lucky light that says these are the frequency of the number is vibrating and it wants to find you, right? So what can you do to be that sperm that you once were that beat everybody else? You was vibrating faster and harder and you never gave up in the canal. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Be quiet. That's next door. All right. So, you know, you got to do the same thing. So what are you going to do when you win? Oh, you doing Ferrari? Wait a minute. Hold on. I got somebody at the door. Hold on, y'all. People along.
I knew you were over here.
Yeah, I was on one of my teaching classes. Hey, people, it's all right. Yeah, go ahead.
I know windows. Two. Is it two windows?
Yeah, it's two. So
yeah,
and here's the one. That's the one that's cracked in the middle, and then the one up front over here is the one that's coming down at the top. The top right is coming down.
I haven't seen
that. Yeah. All right, y'all. So get away from that door. So anyway, put my sunnies on y'all. All right, cool. See the cool stars. So anyway, yeah, my astrology. I mean, not my astrology coach, but my zodiac shirts. On that, we got those and whatnot. So anyway, what else y'all got for me? Hey, see, I do a Cardone say. Oh, so you know the so know your top 5, man. That's what I was saying. Increase yourself, increase your energy field, so it's like, yo, that light found you. You know what I'm saying? And you won. So if it's the Ferrari, yo, man, listen, stop playing yourself. Go to the nearest one that you can get to, like for real. Go to the dealer and take yourself on a trip. Like, babe, listen. Today we gonna act like we won the lottery. And what we about to do is we about to go to the Cherry Hill Mall. Then we about to go to the Cherry Hill Bentley joint. We're going to go ahead and get you that joint. We're going to sit in it. In fact, bump that. We're going to see they're going to let us test drive it. You're going to dumb out and spend your entire freaking day. It's just one day. Spend your day as if you won the freaking lottery. Oh, you going to Greece? How much is the ticket? Oh, babe, the ticket is that. Put it in the basket like you about to check out with it. Leave it in the shopping cart because you're going to do it when the check comes. You know what I'm saying? So leave it in the shopping cart on Expedia. Put yourself in that state of being, man. All right? Have fun with these things. Do it. And for real, touch back when you hit and say, yo, nigga, we did it. Because I'm going to tell you what we doing. It is to push this truth to a whole nother era of publicity, to people can know, because I'm really a zealot, that God is real. And through that, the law of correspondence will be explained from the first law, which is known as the law of mentalism. See what I'm saying? So the law of mentalism, which is nothing more than what we always say, vibrational thoughts anyway. It's just a wave of energy. So hold on, y'all. You need me?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the window, the one you was talking, the other one you was talking about that's coming down in the top.
Yeah. The front room.
Oh, okay.
up here.
Like
and
that one?
But the top right, not the one on the side. So it's actually like this right window right here.
Yeah.
That same window. So when upstairs. Yep, in the front room. All right, y'all. So it's nothing more than vibration. You know what I'm saying? So that's vibration. That's what it is. Get your energy up, man. And I got my people here to fix my windows and stuff, man. So I'll take one more for you. One more before we roll out. And don't forget, tonight is Minister Jew, theimaginationguru.com. All right, theimaginationguru.com tonight at 8:30. The Curious Case of Kanye West. All right. Shop tab, webinars, only $21. It's only $21 that he's going to show you phenomenal information dealing with Kanye West. All right. But I'm going to take one more question. What you got for me? You say you kind of look like a rapper. I guess I'm in my rapper hip hop mode. This Hip Hop Astrology TV, I got to play the part for it, right? And I'm about to put up a video right after this, y'all. I'm going to send y'all an email. If you're not on the mailing list, go to myastrologycoach.com. That's the mailing list. myastrologycoach.com. And join the mailing list. I got a Hebrew class coming up. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's real weird, right? So I got a Hebrew class that's coming up. Hebrew, the language of prosperity. It starts November the 18th. It's a Sunday. It's going to be about 5 weeks. The whole purpose is the region of the brain, which is the parietal lobe that deals with language, also deals with money. It processes numbers. Real talk. I'm not making this up. Google it. Parietal lobe or parietal lobe, right? So Google that. All right. So that portion of the brain, it deals with numbers and it deals with language. All right, you stay. All right, what I say? So, okay. So it deals with language. It deals with numbers. So if you deal with a new language, then by proxy, you are expanding the same region of the brain that processes money. But most importantly, like, I promise you, in 5 weeks, in week 2, you're going to be reading words already. And I'm talking about sentences too. So like, this is going to be phenomenal. Like, show yourself that you got the mental capacity where you can just take a quick little 4-week class, only on the weekend, 1 day a week. And you can like pick up a language real fast and read something that you didn't absolutely know nothing of just that fast. I promise you. I've done it. I got the testimonials. I'm going to share the testimony because I'm about to post a video soon. That's the Hebrew class. And then that Saturday, the 17th, is karma and past lives. Ooh, that's going to be dope because I'm going to show you in your chart where the karma and the friction is, right? And most importantly, I'm going to bring you some factual data. I still got the book right here to support this stuff. This is a beast, man. Miracles Happen by Brian Weiss, talking about past lives and the issues that people have stems from past life. I got personal experience, once again, helping someone overcome lifelong asthma just by having one 30-minute session with me, successfully getting into the subconscious mind where all the automatic programs are going, seeing it, and your seeing it deletes it. Real talk. This book talks about so many case studies where people seen the issue. A person could have had a rash on their arm, but that rash stems from an injury from a past life. And then now this rash always flares up. And the mere fact when they see it in this life, it just goes away instantly upon, upon the session. It just be straight. So the mind is that powerful. Absolutely that powerful. I'm going to give you that webinar free when you join my class. All right. And that's the Hebrew class. All right. So join that class. It's on the website. Thank y'all for joining. I got to go, but get to theimaginationguru.com tonight. You got a question? Feel free to call me. Call the 267-403-4078. I'll answer the line. All right. Peace.